You're listening to BYU-Idaho Radio. I'm Nathan Lenahan, and today I'm joined by Jess Goudy. She's an organizer for the Rexburg Mobile Food Pantry. Jess, thank you so much for coming in and joining us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Now, so before we get into a bit of what the Rexburg Mobile Food Pantry is about, I was just wondering if you could just tell me a bit about yourself, give us some background information on you.
Yeah, I am a Rexburg native. I couldn't wait to get out of here when I graduated from Madison High School, but somehow after attending BYU-Idaho and then leaving, it lured me back in. And so I moved back, and I've been a resident here and loving and working in this community ever since and finding ways to serve the people that I love here.
That's great. And could you tell us what is the Rexburg Mobile Food Pantry and what is it all about?
Yeah, absolutely. It is a program that was started about 13 and a half years ago, and it's a branch of the Idaho Food Bank, which is part of Feeding America. And they needed to find a way to get more food into the Madison County area about 13 and a half years ago. I'm not sure the exact statistics, but at the time, we were more than double the rate of poverty for the state of Idaho and 15,000 below the median income for the state of Idaho. So they were trying to find ways to infuse food into our community since we don't have any sort of brick and mortar food pantry that people can go in and pull from.
Yeah, so the mobile part of the mobile food pantry, how does that work into it?
Yes, that actually is the most challenging, yet we pat ourselves on the back for that because we do not have a permanent location. We are exactly what it sounds like. We, wherever we have done it, we've moved to about 5 locations in the last 13 years, but we are currently at Madison High School. Go Madison. Thank you for that. We drop the food off. The truck comes, drops off about 50,000 pounds of food on pallets, and we unload it, we sort it, we get it ready to distribute, and in a matter of 4 to 5 hours, all of that food is gone, distributed, and there's just a stack of pallets left. So you can only find us once a month. You can't find us any other time. We are on the run, mobile.
And when you do these monthly distributions, how many people on average come in?
So we get anywhere, the lower months, we're looking at about 450 families. So usually when college is out, we see our numbers go down. But on average, we're about 650 families a month, with some of our highest being during COVID around 800 local families.
Okay. And so you said the numbers go down when college is out. So is a moderate amount of people going there to college students?
Yeah, I would say that a decent amount of them are. We don't collect that kind of data because at this place we collect very, very minimal. How many people are in your family? We just want to know what county you reside in. Just some basic statistics there. But if you're a human and you have a pulse and your stomach's hungry, then we're going to feed it. We don't care if you're a student because students are hungry too.
That's very true. And what kind of food do they have offered at the distributions?
Well, the Idaho Food Bank has done an amazing job. They tried to pull in fresh, healthy foods. And so this isn't the stuff that you're going to find that's been tossed out from stores. There's times when we'll get things that some of the produce is a little gone, or you have to sort out a few apples from your bag. But we get meats, we get produce, we get dairy, we get, of course, potatoes. And usually each time, because we are in Idaho, 3 to 4 kinds of potatoes. You're dehydrated, you're frozen, then you're fresh, you're sliced, you're diced, all the potatoes. And we don't know, the other unique thing about it, we don't know what we're going to get until we show up that day that we're passing food out. So we show up, we walk the line. The Idaho Food Bank gives us some suggestions on how much to pass out. And then we kind of adjust it through the night based on how many people are there.
And how has the community been in helping with this organization?
It's been amazing. The community in the sense of volunteers, because it's run entirely off of volunteers and entirely off of donations. because it is the Idaho Food Bank provides the food for it, and they support us, but it's not supported by a nonprofit yet. We're hoping to get there at some point, but it runs off of donations, people's donations of time, people's donations of box cutters and garbage bags and hot chocolate, because otherwise that comes out of our volunteers' pockets. And we hate adding that kind of stress onto people who are already donating so much of their time to us.
Right. And how many volunteers are typically needed for one of these distribution events?
That's a great question. So again, depending on what we get, there's times when the food they bring and we can pull it right off the pallet and distribute it. But then there's times, especially during the summer, and we don't complain because we love it, but we'll get 5 different produces. We'll get onions, pears, apples, peaches, and they just send them in big boxes, and we have to bag them. And so we bag each one of those into 550 to 600 bags. And on those months, 150, 200 volunteers, to keep us on track. On the typical month, we look for about 75 to 100 volunteers.
And for these events, are you guys typically needing more volunteers, or is the volunteer limit being met on average?
Since we've moved in town, we're just recently out at Madison High School. We have seen a huge uptick in the number of volunteers coming out. We will never say no to a volunteer. We love families. We love church groups. We love any sort of organization. We've started getting a lot of the local teams coming out to do service hours. Anybody who has required service hours, you can sign up through Just Serve, but at the end of the day, if you come out, we're going to try to find something for you to do. And at the very least, you can be a part of a really cool experience, and then maybe come back on a month when your hands can get a little more dirty and dive in a little deeper.
Right. And so you said through Just Serve is a way that people can volunteer. What about donating? Because you said this is through donations. How can people do that?
Yeah, absolutely. They can reach out to us. So we have a Facebook page. That has been our sole method of communication with our patrons, and we are pretty reliant on it. It is Rexburg Mobile Food Pantry, and we communicate with people there when we have specific needs. We post them there. Tape. Sometimes just some really random batteries, random needs. We'll post our needs there, and then amazingly, they always get met. So we're growing. We foresee some bigger needs with storage since we have moved in town, and so we would appreciate people tuning into the Rexburg Mobile Food Pantry and keeping an eye on how you can keep us afloat. This community-run program. Help keep this community-run program afloat.
Right. And so what challenges have you seen in helping organize this and seeing it go over the years?
I would say volunteers is one of the big ones, consistency, because there will be 1 month like December. Everybody wants to get out and serve, and in December they're lighting the world, and I'm excited that they're lighting the world. We'll have 250 volunteers, but then January we'll go from that to 45. And so just the consistency of getting the right amount of volunteers out there to make that program run. Because when volunteers don't show up, the people there to get food are waiting so much longer, and it just has a big effect. So volunteers, one of the biggest challenges. And then I would say a basic understanding of what this program is and what food insecurity is and what it isn't. It doesn't mean that somebody's poor. It doesn't mean that somebody's failed. It means that somebody needs some help. And it means that there's a program that's created for that somebody who needs help. So I think trying to get through to people that this isn't a failure having to use a program like this. That's why they're there. That's why community's there. And the people who do use this, people tend to cast judgment on people who use these programs, but that's why they're there. And you never want to have to use them until you're in the situation where you have to use them. And so when they're there And when you can show up and when they're easy to access and you're greeted by 75 of Rexburg's finest volunteers, it makes it so much easier to go through some of life's hardest moments, trying to figure out how you're going to put food on the table.
And have you found, are most people in the community aware of this program and just taking advantage of it when they need it? Or do you find you need to get the word out more on it?
Always need to get the word out more. So we have this very unique challenge living in this community where half of our population is a revolving door of students. And so I would say our core community has a pretty good idea that we're here, we exist. We still try to keep them informed, especially of changes. But as far as our student population, which is a large part of our community, letting them know that it's there, letting them know that they can access that. So we always need help, especially with those younger demographics and the mobile populations.
Right. And for the next distribution event, you said you had a location change. Do you guys change locations fairly often, or?
No. So we've only ever changed locations 5 times in the 13 years. We were out at Wilcox Warehouse for about 8 years. Huge thanks to Wilcox. They saved us for a long time. We kind of outgrew the space there, and so the Madison High School agreed to let us use that stretch of land there. So we are at that location, have been there for the last 6 months. We do have a date change. We are generally the third Monday of every month, but due to Monday being a holiday, we won't be able to have food delivered. And so instead of the third Monday, only for the month of February, we will be doing it on a Friday, which we have never done before. So date night, whatever you want to call it, come out and party with us on February 20th.
And so you said it's grown a lot. You've outgrown previous spaces. So what do you hope to see for the future of this program?
Well, I think we put a lot of thought and had a lot of help into finding a location logistically that would allow us to grow. And this location that we're at, as far as feeding cars through and the process that we have, it meets the needs we have. The only large need we have now is a storage need. We have all of this stuff, and because we are mobile and because we are just operating out on a road at the high school, we have nowhere to store all of our stuff. And so it gets sent home, pallet jack with this person, and a few totes of walkie-talkies and jackets with this person. So we're looking for some sort of storage idea within the Rexburg area, and whether that's a storage unit, anything that anybody could donate, a trailer, we're looking for that. So that is our next biggest need in order to help keep us truly mobile and not put pressure on the high school and the grounds out there by leaving stuff. And
I guess just last, is there anything that you would want the community to know?
I think the best thing is come out and serve. If you're wondering what it's about, if you are in need of food, you can come serve and you can take a box. If you're not in need of food, come serve. There is no better way to get to know your community than by seeing some of the most vulnerable populations. And so it's a truly humbling experience, and I hope that at some point, everybody makes their way down there. You can go find all the details on Just Serve and come and serve with us and see what Rexburg is really all about.
Jess, thank you so much for coming in and sharing all this with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.